wicked that we forget that if someone hurt you, you gotta forgive them.
Sundays at 8:30 a.m. on ZNS TV 13.
Let's start the morning off right. The morning edition is live.
The dawn can't come.
That's what he thinks, guys.
Start your day with the Morning Edition. Weekdays at 7 a.m. right here on the ZNS Network. You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Hey.
Coming up in the news, a hit-and-run accident leaving one man dead. Also, Biminites' free trip to Florida to take the vaccine set for tomorrow. And the Ministry of Grand Bahama gearing up for the government's youth summer employment program. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shoshana Rowe-Farkas, and as always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, a hit-and-run accident in the Western District this weekend, leaving one man dead. Tonight, an eyewitness is coming forward, sharing a first-hand account of the moments before and after the deadly hit, and is calling for the driver of the vehicle to take responsibility for the heartbreaking incident. An eyewitness on the scene of the island's latest hit-and-run in Pinedale 8 Mile Walk says the incident unfolded quickly, and she will never forget the moments leading up to the death of the 8 Mile Walk resident.
As we were driving and coming closer, I noticed that I spot two gentlemen was in the road, and I noticed Mr. James were actually more in the road, and the other gentleman was like more close enough on the side of the road, like where they were arguing, and I had to tell the driver, I said, look out, these two guys were in the road. So the other guy went on the side of the road, and then Mr. James stayed in the road, and he was still pointing his finger, and he was still rowing. He's still arguing with the gentleman. And I said, Lord, I hope these people don't get killed, because they're in the middle of the road. Just when I said that, this car came flying along with other cars in the back of it and ended up hitting him.
She says he was knocked so hard that he was catapulted into the air and landed on the side of the road. Early reports indicated that the man was struck by a light-colored vehicle that was headed in a westerly direction, and the driver of the vehicle failed to stop at the scene of the accident.
When he got thrown on the side of the road, what happened was I tell the driver, I said, turn around, so we can actually go and get the license plate number, but we didn't end up doing that. We ended up just going closer to Mr. James, and then we noticed that he wasn't responding, he wasn't moving or nothing. So what I did, so two gentlemen, they came out of their car, and then when they came out of their car, they went and they were standing over him, but so what happened was, as we drive off a little bit, I called 911 right away, and I told them I just witnessed a hit and run, and I said, and it just happened.
But she says even though it happened quickly, the driver, knowing that something or someone was hit, should have stopped.
I believe the person was afraid, and I'm not sure if the person know that they actually hit a human being or they mind he probably hit a dog, like how it happened so fast and it just like get thrown out of the road so fast. But the sad part about it is they never stopped to turn around and see what it was they actually hit. They kept driving, and then other cars what was in the back, they kept driving along with that too.
Now the victim in the hit-and-run accident has been identified as James Henfield of 8 Mile Walk. Sources say he was also a victim of a hit-and-run in 2018, and reports indicate that he was hit between the Hot Dog Plaza and Pinedale. The driver at the time turned off their lights and sped off. In 2018, Henfield sustained a broken leg, ribs, and fractured skull. Now we understand that someone is in custody as it relates to this latest matter.
The image of it just keep on playing over and over in my head, and right now I still can't sleep because all I can do is just think about and hear the sound of that car hitting him.
Now, police are confirming tonight that a suspect is in custody in connection with the apparent hit-and-run accident in 8 Mile Rock. We get the details now from Italia Hall.
The fatal accident took place around 10 p.m. on Sunday. Officer in charge of the traffic division, Superintendent Jeremy Henfield, says when police arrived on the scene, a male who was later identified as James Henfield was found lying on the side of the street. EMS personnel soon arrived and transported him to the hospital.
Early investigation into that matter would have revealed that pedestrian would have been walking along that road. Initially, the report was that he may have been intoxicated and walking the streets in and out of the traffic. Somehow he was struck by a vehicle. That vehicle did not remain on the scene of the accident, and we later learned that the victim would have succumbed to his injuries at the hospital.
Now, Henfield confirming that officers in the 8 Mile Rock division have since located the driver and the vehicle involved in the fatal accident.
The driver is presently now being interviewed as it relates to this matter. And the vehicle, we have that vehicle for further inspection. Again, we are thankful that we're able to close this matter in a real short time. Excellent work by the officers in that area.
This latest incident is the second fatal accident for the year on Grand Bahama. Henfield says the island is progressing well overall. He adds that last year, around the same time, the island had already recorded 7 traffic deaths.
We still appeal to the motoring public, please continue to drive within the speed limit. 8 Mile Rock, as you know, is a community, and so you should not be making no more than 30 miles an hour, if 30 miles an hour in that area. And so we ask the motoring public to please slow down. This is the summertime. We have a lot of kids out of school, and 8 Mile Rock, as you know, is always crowded. No matter what day or time, it is always crowded with persons just traversing the street. And so we ask the motoring public please to drive with safety and caution.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
A cruise scheduled to take Biminites to Florida to take the Johnson & Johnson one-jab COVID vaccine now set to leave that northern island tomorrow. The trip was originally scheduled to take place last week Wednesday, but due to logistical challenges, it had to be postponed. We caught up with one of the coordinators, Dr. Pamela Mills, who gave this update.
The Valeria will be sailing into Miami tomorrow, Wednesday, the 14th, leaves at about 11 o'clock in the morning, and we have a total of a little over 200 persons who will be on that ship when it leaves tomorrow. And we just want to say that we originally wanted to leave last Wednesday, but there were some things that had to be done, and now those things have been done, and the boat leaves tomorrow. If the numbers are there would be a subsequent trip on Friday, and more details about that as they become available. But we are sailing tomorrow, and we're going into Miami to have this process done.
Now, this planned one-day trip is a coordinated effort between stakeholders who are encouraging residents to get vaccinated, particularly since there has been a recent spike in cases on that island, leading to tighter restrictions and a curfew from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. In other news, celebrations in honor of the country's 48th anniversary of independence continuing over the weekend. The annual ecumenical service held on Sunday at Community at Heart Tabernacle Church. Our Megan Shepherd was there.
Residents on Grand Bahama, government officials, and religious leaders of all denominations coming together for the annual ecumenical service of Thanksgiving in honor of the country's 48th anniversary of independence. Pastor Nelson Bain of New Beginning Life Ministries International giving the prayer for the nation.
We offer you the sacrifices and thanksgiving, O God, for all you have done for the Bahamas. We pray your blessing, O God, to continue to be multiplied, O God, on these islands, Father. Individually bless us. Bless us collectively, O God. Bless your church in this nation. As we believe, O God, revival comes from you, O God. We pray for revival in your church and the nation of the Bahamas will be revived.
While Pastor Andrew Burrows of the Northern Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists lifting the prayer for government.
You said that governments are ordained by you. And so, Heavenly Father, we bring our nation's government before you. We bring all who rule and have authority and who chart the way and who govern your people. We bring our Prime Minister before you today. We ask, Lord, that you will grant unto him your divine favor, that you will grant unto him blessings, that you will grant unto him wisdom.
President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Dr. Robert Lockhart, delivering the national message under the theme, A Celebration of Life, Revive Us Again. Pastor Lockhart, noting the word revive, suggests that all hope is not dead and that he is optimistic about the future of this nation.
Oh, we've all cried our tears, amen, and we've had to wipe our eyes, but God is still faithful. But we know, amen, that joy cometh in the morning. And I want to say the Grand Bahama morning is here. We've wiped away our tears. We've gotten up and dust off ourselves. And we're in the saddle once again. We're going to ride this horse until this race is over. Because great is he that is in us than he that is in the world. And we'll show the world what a nation receives when they trust God. Hallelujah. Because Jesus is Lord.
Bringing special remarks, Member of Parliament for Marcos City, the Honorable Michael Pintard.
We rededicate ourselves to being agents of God's work to revive our nation. All of us say on behalf of the government that we intend to work even harder, one family, one community, one island at a time. We know that the value of these ecumenical services is bringing together various denominations in the Christian faith to thank God for his many blessings that he has bestowed on us, to rededicate ourselves that he can work through us, and also to worship him and to let the nation see in the midst of everything that God is still worthy of praise.
The service ended with a special Junkanoo rush out. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, as we continue to celebrate the country's 48th anniversary of independence, tonight we kick off another week-long series, this time discussing agriculture in an independent Bahamas. In this report, a local produce farmer discusses the farming industry where it is now some 48 years later and the future of the industry. Here is Jamila Mizik.
My name is Alpha Celestin, and I am the owner of Bay Garden Producers on Grand Bahama Highway.
Alpha Celestin, a St. Lucia native, came to Grand Bahama more than 20 years ago and has one of the largest produce farms on the island. Born and raised on a farm in his hometown, Celestin says he was always interested in farming because he came from a farming community.
It is 23 years since I've been living here, and I came here through a farming company, right? which was Grand Bahama Poultry. And I left, I went and worked. I did quite a bit on my own, right? And I decided to get some land, me and my wife, and we start working it.
Here in Grands Bahama, Celestin grows crops including bananas, plantain, sweet potatoes, and other vegetables. He says the biggest challenge we're facing in the Bahamas when it comes to farming is natural disasters.
Had it not been for hurricane, here could have been one of the largest producing country in the Caribbean because we have good soil. But the only thing that is not in our favor is the hurricane. Right, hurricanes have been devastating this country, right? Even with animals and whatever, right? It is not the best, especially in Grand Bahama. But we are still striving as much as we can to do whatever we can to see that we don't get any lower.
And as the country celebrates 48 years as an independent nation, Celestin says over the years he has seen an increase in interest in the agriculture industry, adding that agriculture in the Bahamas has grown tremendously, especially on Grands Bahama. He says he believes going forward, agriculture would be very good in the Bahamas. However, we must adjust to hurricanes.
We can take agriculture very far in the Bahamas, very far. Because most of our food is coming from the United States. And this is something that if they could benefit out of it, we can benefit as well, because they just have hurricanes just like us, right? They just have heavy winter, heavier than us, and they have adjusted themselves to it. And if they can supply us, we should be able to supply ourselves. It's just a matter of we training our people to go through it. That's all. Just a little training. That's all they need of, right? And to have a little more confidence in themselves.
And when asked if he believes Bahamians would eventually be able to sustain ourselves, he says,
definitely, if we have to go at it, we will be able to feed ourselves. We'll definitely be able to feed ourselves. Right? Even with honey, we will be able to feed ourselves if we really have to take it on serious. If you take on agriculture serious, one day it can be the backbone of the Bahamas.
Jamila Misek, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Come on down. Come on down now.
Don't let COVID-19 stand in the way of your education. The Bahamas Institute of Business and Technology has convenient online courses, which you can complete anywhere, anytime.
Completing my degree was affordable and convenient with BIBT's leading-edge online classes. And now I have a great job and advancing in my career.
BIBT, respected, affordable, recognized, and approved. Delivering quality education across the entire Bahamas. Visit BIBTBahamas.com for more information.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street introduces its new home improvement center. Step into our brand new, fully stocked showroom for the latest in doors, tiles, housewares, kitchenwares, bathwares, vanities, power tools, electrical, and plumbing supplies. So stop by our showroom to view our full range of products or call the Home Advisor hotline at 602-0935 today. We are your home advisors. Every year, hurricanes are getting stronger and stronger. Don't you want to make sure your home is secured with the strongest windows, doors, and roof? If so, come on down to World Wholesale on Queens Highway in the Bamboo East Complex, opposite Jaeger Funeral Home, where we sell the highest quality hurricane impact windows, doors, metal roofs, and hurricane shutters at the best prices you can find in the U.S. and Bahamas. Visit our store Monday to Friday from the hours of 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. to see the quality of our products. Contact us today for a free estimate.
Across the Bahamas, we're more connected than ever before as we upgrade and expand our network, elevating your connection with BTC Superfast Fiber Internet. More people can access the best high-speed internet on our upgraded all-fiber optic network, providing you with a better experience working remotely, learning virtually, accessing more from home, and connecting with more opportunities. Visit our website or any store to upgrade to our super fast fiber internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
Hey, wait! What you doing, baby? Don't jump! You all right? Man, they so stressed out. I could use a massage. Oh, no. Don't look at me. I don't do them things. Why don't you check out the ZNS Shopping Network? They may be able to help you with something like that. You think they have something for that? Yeah, man, for sure. For New Day Spa. That's the place where the guys them is rub you down and fill you up. Look, I am buying this coupon for the hot stone massage. Renew Day Spa it is. I'm going. Hey, look here. Wait for me. I rolling with you.
Log on to www.znsshoppingnetwork.com. Select the island of your choice and shop anywhere, anytime.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Grand Bahama launching the government's Youth Summer Employment Program. Scores of young people were selected, gathering outside of the Harold de Gregory complex on Friday afternoon. They were addressed by the Minister of War, Grand Bahama, Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson. Minister Thompson telling the young people that the program is important because it provides an opportunity to make an income and to learn as well.
It provides you with an opportunity to be exposed to the job market. And I don't want you to just learn about how you get a job, but I want you to open your minds and learn about the opportunities with respect to how can you start your own business and how can you be exposed to certain skills so that you can actually own your own business. I want you to open your minds and look at that kind of an opportunity.
The minister also encouraging the group to take their jobs seriously.
Which means ensuring that you show up on time. It means ensuring that you continue to do all of those things in a mannerly way. Continue to make sure that you say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, please, thank you. Ensure that you take the job seriously because it is an opportunity. Because many persons who have had the same kinds of opportunity that you've had have been called back after a number of years for employment, but not just called back, but they've been able to get full-time employment as a result of just having the same opportunity that you're going to have right now.
Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini organizing a virtual college fair for students in grades 10 through 12 and all high school graduates. The online fair began today, July 13th, and will end on Saturday, July 18th. Spokesperson Navarro Saunders says scholarship opportunities will also be available.
The Member of Parliament, Keisha Barker Edgecombe, has made education and training a top priority. She urged persons interested in attending the college fair not to miss out on the great opportunity. She said that this is another opportunity for young people in general across Grand Bahama and Bimini to attend college and for some to even get scholarships. And she invites people from West End, Sweeting Ski, East End, Bimini, all over Grand Bahama and Bimini to take part in the opportunity. And this college fair has been going on for the last 6 years. We've had people graduate from Morgan State University and different colleges. I mean, some of them have gotten full tuition paid for, all expense. Some got half off. But the point is that we want as many people to log on as possible. Even if you're a non-Bahamian, you can take part in the college fair.
Now, Saunders says a number of college institutions are taking part in the fair, and he encourages interested persons to log on to the website at www.legacycollegereadiness.com to register.
Participants can register for as many schools as they like. And the organizer, Erica Morris, stressed that participants should even register for the schools they are not familiar with. Different schools have different criteria. That's why it's very important that persons don't just look at a school and say, well, I'm not familiar with that school, so I'm not going to even apply to that school. Apply to every school, because a school that you like may not give you a scholarship opportunity, but a school that you're not familiar with may give you an opportunity.
Now, the fair begins at 3:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. and on Saturday at 11 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. And that's a look at stories making news. Your sports check is next with RJ Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. The North American and Central American Under-18 and Under-23 Track and Field Championships wrapped up on the weekend in Costa Rica. The Bahamas produced a 35-member team. They walked away with 42 total medals. Ramiko Knowles has more.
17 gold, 18 silver, and 7 bronze gave Team Bahamas a third-place finish at the North American, Central American, and Caribbean Association Championships in Costa Rica. Adding to the Bahamas gold medal count, Terrence Jones claimed victory in the under-20 men's 100 meters in a time of 10.47 seconds. It was a 1-2 punch for the Bahamas in the men's 200-meter final. Jones led the way coming off the curve, but got dipped at the line by Wayne McCoy, who captured gold in 21.17 seconds. Jones won the silver medal in 21.18 seconds. In the under-18 400 meters, Shamar Smith picked up a bronze medal for Team Bahamas in 49.83 seconds. In the 200 meters, he placed 5th in 22.06 seconds. Mateo Smith competed in the under-18 100-meter dash. He finished 4th in a time of 10.77 seconds. In the long jump, he also placed 4th with a leap of 7.01 meters. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Total Sports.
Switching gears now at the softball field, the Churchill Tenor Knowles one-pitch co-ed tournament wrapping up at the Grand Bahama Amateur Association softball field with champions crowned. In the opening rounds, Immigration defeated Buckeye 7-2, Pat's Uniform blanked Buckeye 10-0, Grand Bahama Health Services took care of Third Dimension 11-1, Express edged out Buckeye 6-3, Immigration took care of GBPC 4-3, the Buckeye then came back and defeated Third Dimension 13-1, Pat's Uniform edged out Express 7-6, GBHS defeated Buckeye 13-10, Grand Bahama Power Company defeated Buckeye 11-3, Buckeye then edged out Express 7-6. At the end of the tournament, Team Immigration came out on top in the co-ed corporate division as champions, defeating Grand Bahama Health Services 5-2. Over in the all-men's division, Pat's Uniforms claimed the title, defeating Buckeye Hitters 17-9. And finally, in sports, the League Baseball update from overseas. Fortune 360 Eagles off to a good start at the Cal Ripken Disney Experience underway in Orlando, Florida, winning their first game 7-3 over D1 Prime Americans. That's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Partners is sponsoring entrepreneurs who are looking for office space to start a business or lower current expenses with no money down office rentals. Call 807-6033 now.
We do it better. We do it better.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Take your time, take your time. You sure, right? Yep.
Money short.
You sure? All right.
Money short.
Okay, okay. Miss. You know Louis buying, right? Oh, well, you must be getting kids dealing. Man, I ain't bring no money like that. Plus, you know you greedy. Well, today is your lucky day. Check out the ZNS Shopping Network. See what deals they have on food. Look here. Boy, Madcap got some super deals. Check it out. You got a $25 coupon for 15 and a $20 coupon for 10. Well, Madcap it is. All right. Hey, I rolling with you, eh?
Log on to ZNSShoppingNetwork.com and get your deals today.
So put me together, break me apart again. No doubt about it.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Devin Lightbourne, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We say thank you for your support. And that is going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshana Wolf-Parkinson. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Tuesday, July 13th, 2021, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, staff at the Bahamas Embassy in Haiti are back home.
Hurricane season is here, so now's the time to start checking off your list. Make note of what you have. Test your batteries, radio, flashlights, and the expiry date on your first aid kit. You may have to replace a few things. Then make sure you have at least 1 gallon of drinking water per day for each person, 2 weeks supply of non-perishable food, a cooler for ice, and if you have an infant, pack a bag of baby items. Keep spare toilet paper, paper towels, and sanitation wipes, along with cleanup supplies, trash bags, waterproof packaging for personal documents, and mosquito repellent. Have 2 extra face masks per person and enough hand sanitizer and life vests for everyone in the household. And have a plan. If shelter gets compromised, plan with household members beforehand how you will escape. That might mean having a knife, axe, crowbar, or other tool to pry open a door, window, or roofing in an emergency. For more information and a full hurricane prep checklist, visit ZNSBahamas.com.
Good evening, I'm Akush Lopinda. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. Increasing turmoil in Haiti leading to the Bahamas government not only closing its embassy there, but pulling its staffers who arrived home last evening. This, of course, nearly a week after that island's president was assassinated, his wife wounded. The 4 Bahamians all cognizant of the deep unrest and uneasiness that plague the island nation. Altavis Munnings has this exclusive from Odyssey Aviation.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force aircraft landed at Odyssey Aviation at exactly 8:11 p.m. Sunday, with the 4 diplomatic staff members of the Bahamas Embassy in Haiti on board. They arrived home just days after the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse. The red carpet was rolled out for the group, who were warmly greeted by their colleagues at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Could not believe it. I said it wasn't true. I wanted proof. I almost wanted to see him there. Shocking. Disbelieving.
And immediately after the news was released, Chargé d'Affaires at the Bahamas Embassy in Haiti, Betty Greenslade, got to work to make sure the 4 diplomatic and 11 support staff members were all safe.
The day of the assassination was as if you could hear a pin drop. Really, really quiet. And people we were all in shock. I think whichever or whomever enemies he had, even they were in shock. For us, the embassy was closed. And that was out of, I guess, for the most part, fear of not knowing what's going to happen. And indeed, afterwards, a state of siege was called. So we respected that. The embassy was closed. We tried to touch base with all of our staff to make sure everybody was fine. To God be the glory. I am just grateful to God to be home.
Defense Force Chief Petty Officer Shervin Scavella is in charge of security at the Bahamas Embassy in Haiti and led the operation to shut down the facility to maintain safety.
For the first 2 days, there was a national curfew. No one was allowed on the road. All borders was locked. They did some sweeps. They cornered, captured, secured the perpetrators, alleged perpetrators. On Friday, they opened, so we secured the embassy compound itself. We made sure everybody and everything is secured, and then with the assistance and the know-how of headquarters, we made preparations for us to be here.
It happened like 1 o'clock. We got to know it's like about 1:30, 2 o'clock because of intel.
That's security attaché Tory Forbes, who also played a major role in this mission, and he's also very grateful to be home.
You out there representing your country and know that home do care about you. Persons at Foreign Affairs and the Prime Minister and the Minister, yes, they did well.
Former Defense Force officer, now Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Darren Henfield, knows exactly what it takes to maintain law and order.
I joined the Defense Force in 1981. We had a nascent air wing that simply focused on maritime patrol and reconnaissance in our region. But here we are now, 48 years as an independent country, and we can send our Defense Force. And I want to commend Commodore King and the Minister of National Security, who cooperated with us fully.
Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Now up next is getting the remainder of Bahamians left in Haiti back home. The Foreign Affairs Minister confirming to reporters before the weekly cabinet meeting this morning that about 5 Bahamians are there, and the aim is to get them out as quickly as possible.
There's no timeline. We have been working on this now since the closure of the borders almost. Haiti presents to us a bit of a challenge in that they had no vaccination program. They went ahead, as you know, and held Carnival, which we saw as an incubator for COVID. But we need to find a way to work through these circumstances. I had somewhat mixed emotions because I didn't want to appear to the Haitian people, the Haitian government in particular, whom I was working with very closely, the Ambassador Edmund Bochet in Washington. I reached out to my colleague, the Prime Minister, who was also a former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Claude Joseph, several times. I've also spoken with their Director General in the Ministry of Tourism, Ambassador Sam. And so we didn't want it to appear as if we're abandoning them in this their hour of challenge. I wanted to reassure them that even though we wanted our people home, the Bahamas and the Bahamian government, as well as CARICOM, we stand in solidarity with them.
Minister Henfield also clued us in on the situation on Haiti's current situation.
The environment was still somewhat settled, but still uncertain. The history of Haiti is that, it doesn't take much to trigger civil unrest. I mean, you all know that you cover the region. And so we're hoping and praying that the perpetrators can be brought to quick justice. And this will somehow appease the Haitian nationals in Haiti, and even here in the Bahamas, well, all of us all across the world, really.
Now on to news on the COVID-19 pandemic. Good news tonight on the national vaccination campaign as more doses are expected to land in country by the end of the month. The health minister told our Cleopatra Murphy that the public will also finally have the opportunity to choose which vaccine they wish to receive.
The Bahamas is expected to receive some 57,330 doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, possibly by the end of the month, that has been offered through PAHO and the COVAX facility. Minister of Health, the Honorable Renward Wells, says he expects to have a more definitive timeline on the shipment by Friday. He also gave details on an additional shipment of AstraZeneca.
We are entitled to some 33,000+ doses of AstraZeneca. The date for arrival of that vaccine is July 26th. And so we are eagerly awaiting AstraZeneca on July 26th. We are also awaiting the update through CARICOM for the donation directly from the United States as to how much doses of that vaccine we will be receiving. We should have that update this week as well.
The anticipation for the new shipment comes amid an increase in COVID-19 hospitalizations in the Bahamas, and as the much more transmissible Delta variant now accounts for more than 50% of COVID-19 cases in the U.S., a growing concern for the Bahamas. With the country now increasing its vaccine options, Wells says residents will be afforded the opportunity to select which they prefer.
On the platform now, I believe for those folks who would have been vaccinated elsewhere, I believe that there's an opportunity for you to be able to choose which vaccine it is that you would have received abroad. For us in country, once we would have gotten the potential to offer additional vaccines, there will be a line that asks whether or not you would like to be vaccinated with another vaccine.
The U.S. plans to distribute some 500 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine to the global community into 2022, but Wells could not confirm if the expected shipment is a part of that offering. He also expects the Bahamas to get additional Pfizer doses through COVAX.
I anticipate that there'll probably be additional offers of Pfizer vaccine for the final fourth quarter of the year.
As government looks to increase the number of vaccinated Bahamians, he says it is looking to secure the Johnson & Johnson vaccine through the African portal. China has also offered its vaccines that include Sinopharm and Sinovac.
We are in discussions with them as to the offer, as we were in discussions with the United States as to its offer. But it's interesting that you pointed out 1 billion persons have been vaccinated with Sinovac, I believe is the Chinese vaccine. To date, I believe some 4 billion persons around the planet, 4 billion, would have received at least one shot of a vaccine. And there's about 7.6 billion people on the planet. So that ought to give you some of the understanding of the math as to vaccine hesitancy and acceptance.
In country, 97,992 doses of COVID-19 vaccine have been administered, 60,303 people have received their first shot, and 37,689 people have been fully inoculated. Cleopatra Murphy, SAT&S Network News.
Well, as you just heard, news of added vaccines come as the Bahamas wrestles another round of increasing COVID-19 cases that have in turn led to more heads in hospital beds. The latest dashboard putting that figure at 67, 62 of those people listed as moderately ill, the other 5 in the intensive care unit. Between July 11th and the 12th, another 68 people became infected with the virus. 55 of them this past Sunday, 13 a day later. That's a 2-day total of 42 cases on New Providence, 8 on Eleuthera, 5 each on Grand Bahama and Exuma, 7 on Bimini and Cat Key, with the location of 1 pending. This gives the Bahamas an overall COVID count of 13,233. At last count, 926 of these cases were active. This as 30 deaths are under investigation. Some 56 tests were completed on July 12th. 4 of them repeats. Well, now, while relaxed COVID restrictions have led to some businesses reopening across the country, still not so for straw markets. And the truth is, there's no word on when that'll be the case. Here's Carla Palmer on what's expected to happen next.
Since March 20th, 2020, all 5 straw markets throughout New Providence have remained closed as a result of the COVID pandemic, with doors to the largest market on Bay Street only opening to staff as a precautionary measure in order to keep the more than 370 registered vendors' merchandise safe.
For a majority of the time that the market was closed, only our senior staff were allowed in.
Kelly Ingram is chairman of the Straw Market Authority. Although cognizant of the lengthy time period that has passed since straw vendors and craft artisans have not been in business due to COVID-19, she notes that vendors are very eager to return.
The opening of the market is subject to the approval of the competent authority. At this time, we do not have a set date. Many of our vendors, this is their sole source of income, and these women and men have been out of work for more than 15 months.
As she awaits direction towards reopening, Ingram says her team has been ironing out some challenges, as not to disenfranchise vendors primarily at the closed straw markets, like the one downtown Nassau.
The challenges of implementing all of the recommendations from the Ministry of Health and Department of Environmental Health Services. The major issue which we have to address is social distancing and limiting the number of persons allowed in the market. While we wish to welcome back all vendors, we have to do so in a way that is safe and secure and in the interest of public health. We have to balance the economic needs of the persons that are employed in the market, so not just the vendors, but also the vendors' helpers, and the interest of safety for the staff, visitors, and vendors themselves. And that is something that is still being worked through.
A financial strain for the Straw Market Authority, as Ingram says the authority still had to not only continue maintaining the day-to-day operation of the straw market, but invest in installing mandated equipment.
So we have had to implement all of the Ministry of Health's recommendations with respect to health protocols and social distancing, as well as training of staff in cleaning mechanisms, instituting plexiglass in our administration section, putting up, you'll see the hand washing stations that we've had around here, as well as the individual hand sanitizing stations that you'll see as you walk around the market. So all of those things have been across all of our markets, not solely at the Bay Street Market. However, the Bay Street Market is our largest market, and so it presents the most difficulty with respect to limiting the number of people as well as social distancing.
In our next report, we will take a look at the significant upgrades made to the downtown straw market. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Still to come, we've got details on the country's latest homicide and the family of a man missing at sea concerned about rescue efforts. We'll be back after this. And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30 and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Welcome to a world where hope is still loud, where dreams are still relevant, and determination has no substitute. Welcome to a nation where the people are still warm, resilient, and innovative. And Commonwealth Bank is at the center of it all, giving innovation and progress an extra push for more than 60 years. We're here for Bahamians because we are Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
It's in our name, fried chicken. It's our thing. Others may try, but we have the original. We put the extra in extra crispy. And our spicy secrets in everyone's mouth. So if we want to make the best chicken sandwich, we just need to put our name on it. The new Kentucky Chicken Sandwich. An abundant triple breaded filet, premium mayo, and pickles, all on a buttered brioche bun. The best chicken sandwich had to be KFC.
Elevate your experience with BTC Superfast Fiber Home Internet, which unlocks unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming for as low as $50 per line. Enjoy more savings and value with internet speeds of up to 600 megabits per second and all the connectivity you need on the go. An elevated experience starts with BTC at home, powering unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming plus great savings. Visit a BTC store or btcbahamas.com for more details.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
If you're with a financial institution, law firm, real estate company, or even John Q. Public, there's good reason for you to listen up. The Financial Intelligence Unit's blowing the whistle on a disturbing trend that's been happening in recent months: real estate scam. According to FIU Director Quinn McCartney, here's what happens. An individual contacts a real estate agent or law firm via email requesting the assistance or representation with purchasing real estate. The individual will then be told of the retainer amount and the necessary Know Your Customer documentation. This would be forwarded. However, and here's the twist, all the documents are fake. Furthermore, the retainer amount would be overstated and either sent directly to the law firm or the firm's banking institution. We're told the individual would immediately request a refund of the overstated amount in hopes the funds are remitted prior to the check being cleared. The good news is that authorities at least have something to go on in terms of who's behind this. The suspect, they say, purports to be a U.S. citizen living in Washington, going by several aliases, all a variation of the other. Andrew Franklin, Franklin Andrew, Frank Andrews, and Frank Andrew. If any of you have information or your financial institution has been approached by someone using any of these names or variation, it's wise to contact the FIU immediately. It's also recommended that institutions refrain from depositing any checks remitted to the institution and discontinue any communication with the individual. The Court of Appeal has overturned the armed robbery conviction of appellant Antoine Johnson. Johnson was serving 15 years behind bars for the 2015 armed robbery of an Esso gas station. During the trial, the prosecution called 3 eyewitnesses. However, one of them was unable to identify Johnson at the identification parade or in court, while the other 2 eyewitnesses identified Johnson as the robber in the parade, but were unable to identify him in court. This led to Johnson complaining during his appeal about the inconsistency with the eyewitness evidence and about the judge's direction on inconsistent evidence. After hearing from both sides, the court found, among other things, that the identification evidence was critical and that the misrepresentation of the evidence by the presiding judge was fatal. The court then allowed the appeal. Submissions will now take place on whether a retrial should be held. An alleged serial murderer among 5 men charged in connection with a string of homicides accused 25-year-old Delanzo Cartwright, 23-year-old Dondre Williams, and 22-year-old Marquin Williams, all of Pinewood Gardens, along with Linden Pinling Estates' 21-year-old resident Padrico Ramsey, all appearing before a magistrate today in connection with the October 20th, 2019 slaying of a Nico Strawn, who also answered to Nikki. The 4 men, not required to enter a plea, they were instead remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until November 29th, when a voluntary bill of indictment will be served. Cartwright's rap sheet, a long one, that also included charges stemming from the December 3rd, 2018 homicides of George DeVoe and Ashley Hilton, the June 28th, 2019 killings of Ian Porter and Raymond Adderley, and 2 conspiracy to commit murder charges. Williams, meantime, also allegedly behind the December 3rd, 2020 murder of Alfred Bastian, along with a conspiracy to commit murder charge. Also remanded today, Rashad Stubbs of Morning Street. Police are convinced Stubbs is behind the April 27th, 2021 murder of Dwayne Cargill. His next court appearance is scheduled for December 2nd. A brutal and bloody Independence holiday weekend for detectives who scrambled from one homicide scene to another. The latest such incident taking place shortly before 6 o'clock yesterday evening at a car wash on East Street opposite Coconut Grove Avenue. Initial reports are that a man's bullet-riddled body was found under a shelter at the car wash.
A number of persons were gathered under this shelter where this car wash is located, and a small dark vehicle approached. A lone male exited that vehicle, armed with a firearm, and discharged a number of shots in the directions of the individuals, fatally wounding the victim. We're appealing to anyone in this community who might have seen what happened to contact the nearest station or to contact the Criminal Investigations Department at 502-9991 or 2.
Now, Police Press Liaison Officer Assistant Superintendent Audley Peters is confident detectives will be able to solve the rash of recent killings.
However, we are also encouraged by the information we're receiving from the members of the public, and we are making good headway with respect to previous incidents that occurred, and we look forward to giving some information to the media in due course. Police presence have been beefed up in this area. It's just a matter of we're not able to be everywhere all the time, and the quick response of our officers is noteworthy in respect to most of these matters.
An intense investigation also underway into that fatal shooting on Arawak Keys Sunday night. Police say the victim was approached by a gunman who fired in his direction, injuring him. The wounded man died in hospital. They
were able to accost the suspect after a short chase, and a firearm was recovered in that instant. To say that that matter last night was connected to any other would be preempting the investigations that is going on with the officers. They have to get their information and correlate it and come to some conclusion. We're not able to come to a conclusion at the matter or on that matter at the moment.
Well, National Security Minister, the Honourable Marvin Dames, leading on that he was not surprised by the number of murders this weekend, as such things transpire from time to time, adding that while the Bahamas has made some inroads in its fight against crime, there's still work to be done.
I am so proud of our men and women in uniform and the work that they continue to do to address these issues. But again, these matters are not matters that, what we're seeing, again, is a manifestation, as I continue to say, of decades of neglect. You look at the age of the persons who are carrying out these heinous crimes. It speaks to our failures as parents and adults, and we cannot expect that it would be the police's job to kind of manage these young men.
Now, while Commissioner of Police Paul Rowe linked at least one of the murders to gang activity, Dame says the public should not fear a gang war.
We just need to ensure that when some irresponsible young man decides to put a weapon in his hand and to fire at someone else for whatever the reason is, that innocent people are not hurt in the process, right? It's always unfortunate when anyone is hurt, but we just need to ensure that innocent people are not hurt. And we referenced the incident at Arawak Key over the weekend. The police were able to respond, and we know the results as a result of them responding, we know the outcome. They were able to successfully take a young man into custody and recover the weapon.
Well, as the search continues for missing 28-year-old Drew Rigby, his family is also searching for answers after claims of miscommunication as well as a premature end of the search by local officials. The Minister of National Security responding to those claims, our Amajal Knowles, has more in this report.
It has been over 48 hours since 28-year-old Drew Rigby has last been seen alive. Rigby has been missing at sea following a boating accident involving a jet ski on Sunday in waters near Rose Island. Certainly a rough past 2 days for Drew's family, who says adding to the emotional toll is what they described as a premature discontinuation of the initial search and rescue efforts.
But the one thing that's concerning me and my family is that the area that they're searching in is not the area they should be searching in. So information that they got is not the correct information. And also, they searched for a few hours and they just left everything, just left the scene, which we are really concerned about.
Addressing the family's claims today was National Security Minister, the Honourable Marvin Dames.
That is incorrect. Okay? Now, when you have search missions, people suspend this. I mean, this is nothing out of the ordinary. I'll have to look at that particular frame and that incident, and that time and what was said and why it was said. Right? But we were equipped to search. Remember now, we're a nation of over 100,000 square miles of sea. With the world, sometimes you're searching for persons and vessels, and you don't find them. Sometimes you're fortunate enough to locate them.
The incident reigniting a hot-button issue over the past several years, which is the adequate amount of equipment and technology needed to assist in these searches, especially in the night.
ZNS was there when we ran the test on the drone months ago. They're still in the testing phases, okay? They're still in the training phase. But the submersible is available for use. But where are you gonna put it? Where are you suggesting? I mean, again, this is a nation of over 100,000 square miles of sea. You know, you have to act on the information that you have and work within that framework, okay? I mean, just putting a drone, a submersible out there, you have to know where you're putting it and why.
Our news team understands that the family plans to continue the search for Rigby tomorrow morning. For ZNS Network News, I'm Amajal Noel.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
We elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate.
The Mount Moriah Crime Watch Association is on the move. Recently, the organization installed CCTV cameras throughout the community, and BTC recently donated more than 24 postpaid SIM cards to help power these devices.
Well, what we did here today was a part of our Give Back initiative. So the Minister Dames would have reached out to BTC to form a partnership with the National Crime Watch Association. And when he reached out, and I would have sent that information on to our CEO, he was more than happy to provide the requisite support to our Give Back initiative to the National Crime Watch.
I think it's a great initiative. One of the main goals of our organization, which is comprised of over 167 neighborhood watch groups throughout the country, is to partner with Corporate Bahamas. And so today, this is just one of the great initiatives that BTC has come on board with the community of Mount Moriah, which consists of Millennium Gardens, Stapleton, and Yellow Elder, to provide their service to them, to help them to combat crime in their communities.
We're grateful that BTC has decided to come on board. They've always been a tremendous corporate partner, certainly to us, and we're elated. We are extremely elated, and this will go a long way, as I said before, in keeping these communities safe.
the power of community, and the power of powerful partnerships. BTC's commitment to community is as strong as ever. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pyfrom. Be well and be back here. Next, BTC Connection.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Saturday banking has returned to the Royal Bank of Canada. Customers of RBC's Cable Beach, Prince Charles, and Carmichael Road branches can get help on more complex, advice-oriented needs like mortgages, loans, lines of credit, and savings, as well as digital banking services. Clients are reminded that on Saturdays, cash and deposits will only be available through automatic teller machines and through the non-stop depository service. RBC's Saturday banking hours are 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., starting July 17th. Waiting for the tax-free holiday to purchase your hurricane supplies? Well, the countdown is on to this Friday, July 16th, when some 30 items can be purchased locally with a zero-rated tax. That is, as we've reported, that's until July 31st. Here's Acting Chief Valuation Officer and Controller Shonda Strawn with some of the exceptions.
So it has to be 5/8 exterior or roofing ply, and the other restriction is around generators. We're only generators that are 20K or less will be sold zero rated.
Well, buying a car is a pretty big deal for many residents, but it does come with persistence and resistance. In this week's Market Insider, Lloyd Allen takes a look at what you should know before driving off.
You might buy an initial car cheap up front, but it's going to cost you very, very expensive at the tail end.
Well, nowadays, it seems like everyone's getting a car of their own, and most of those vehicles on our roads being used vehicles. But are there some questions you may need to ask before handing over your cash and getting those keys? Senior manager at Glass Accessory Warehouse, Trevor Strawn, says he's seen it all. Secondhand Japanese car owners pouring way more into a car than they anticipated.
You want to make sure that the vehicle is compatible with a vehicle that goes into the United States.
While imports are standard from both the U.S. and Asian market, Strawn argues part availability becomes blurry, especially for Asian or European vehicles.
Look at the other used car dealerships on the road now that is actually bringing in a lot of the Japanese cars, and they normally tend to buy the cars that are compatible with the American market.
He says brands like Suzuki, Toyota, Nissan, and Honda are for the most part accessible, but warns of unfamiliar brands offered at cheaper rates.
If that is a Japanese direct car, God forbid you have an accident, you need a headlight, you need a hood, you need a bumper, all right. Those three items there can probably run you into around $1,500, $1,600.
Strawn claims developing countries like the Bahamas are used as dumping ground for aging vehicles, with shrinking part availability and increasing operational cost. Car dealer and industry expert Ben Aubrey agrees.
In Japan, they give incentive, well, they make it more expensive. It's a higher road tax every year the older the vehicle gets. Most commonly is that people who are getting burnt either through bringing in their own cars and, not knowing what they're purchasing.
Now, the used car market has spiraled upward and is reported by the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe to be a $17.6 billion industry, with a significant portion supported by the Caribbean and Latin America. But whatever you decide, both offer advice to new or used car buyers.
Your car is like your human body, so you should be servicing your car no less than twice a year.
A lot of the newer vehicles are going into hybrids, or they're going into smaller engines that produce more power and burn less fuel.
Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
A booming industry back in the day, sponging has long faded off the scene. But as LaDawn Davis tells us, a local entrepreneur is hoping to revive it.
We saw it to be a very lucrative market, and so myself, along with another friend of mine, we decided just give it a try.
Lyndon Johnson has about 3,000 sponges scattered across the lawn of his backyard in eastern New Providence that he purchased from divers from around the country. Over a year ago, he developed a love for the industry and decided to become an exporter of sponges to the United States and the European markets. He says sponging runs in the family, as his great-grandfather was a sponge boat captain years back.
There are several species of sponges that you could find on every single island in the Bahamas. You have the wool. The wool is the most expensive sponge. You have hardhead. You have yellow, you have grass, and you also have the grass -- and you could also find reef sponge here in the Bahamas as well. The sponging industry is extremely lucrative in terms of it depends on how you purchase your sponge, firstly, and then also the product itself. Very often you find the fishermen want top dollar for their sponge. They cannot get the top dollar because many times the sponge is not the grade one that the customers need.
But before the sponges are packed and shipped off, Lyndon says they must be examined, weighed, and cleaned.
I do very, very, very little cleaning here. The process, once the sponge fishermen dive up the sponge it comes out very, very black. It has a black milk on it and extremely, the scent, it's almost like if you smell a rotten conch, it's almost 7 times that. So the sponge, after more or less, they take the sponge out of the water, they put it on the land for a few, let's say 3 days, then they put it back in the water, and so they can more or less, it could wash itself. And then there's a beating process to wash all of that milk, and then this is what you see at the end process.
While explaining to us what the sponges are used for, Lyndon revealed that the wool sponge is actually the most expensive.
Because of the texture and what the end user uses it for. And I think that is why it's very scarce here in the Bahamas. It's scarce in the Mediterranean, and it also is very scarce in Tanzania and North Africa. It's very scarce. So once you have it, you can get it at a good price for many different things. From whether it be from feminine protection, they also use it for padding. They use it for even in the hospitals. So all of those places are the end users of it. And also the sponge you actually find in the food stores like the Brillo, etc. All of that is the base. The sponge here locally is the base for the sponge that you see in the supermarket.
LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
This next story for all you pet owners, and the advice is pretty simple. Pay special attention to heat and know the warning signs of an overheated dog. That coming from the Pet Food Institute, who says pets also require cool air, shade, and access to a lot of water to stay safe during the summer, just like humans. The bad news is many dogs whose owners or handlers don't realize how much a few degrees difference in temperature can make suffer in silence because they are left out in the sun, tied up in a yard or on a hot concrete parking lot with no shade and insufficient water. PFI officials encourage pet owners to remember that your pet's body temperature is already high, as their bodies stay warmer even at rest in moderate temperatures. When they begin to overheat, they cannot sweat, so they pant, and that provides temporary relief. But if that internal heat builds up or is too intense, dogs cannot keep themselves cool and can overheat. And this leads to serious side effects, including vomiting, diarrhea, urinating blood, collapse, or seizures. Well, as we head to the break, to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Elevate your experience with BTC Superfast Fiber Home Internet, which unlocks unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming for as low as $50 per line. Enjoy more savings and value with internet speeds of up to 600 megabits per second and all the connectivity you need on the go. An elevated experience starts with BTC at home, powering unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming plus great savings. Visit a BTC store or btcbahamas.com for more details.
It's Shay here, and welcome to our first installment of Alive's Community Corner. Not only is Alive a digital service provider, and beyond those great deals and services that we provide you, Alive is committed to the community. So here's a look at what we did for Mother's and Father's Day. This episode, and we look forward to sharing with you so many more of our community moments. So why Alive? Because you deserve it.
This is more than just paint. It adds peace to the start of a morning. It's precision and brings the feeling of warmth and comfort. It's care and being surrounded by peaceful hues on lazy days. It's reliability and the added touch for fun with the guys. This is more than just paint. It's the color to our lives. And the paint place does it best. Happy Independence, Bahamas.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to sports. With the WMA All-Star Classic on the horizon, Bahamian women's professional basketball player Jonquel Jones and the Connecticut Sun went into the break with a 71-64 win over the New York Liberty on Sunday. Jones was phenomenal. She finished with game highs of 17 points and 17 rebounds, marking the 10th double-double of the season in 15 games for her. She finished 6 for 14 from the floor. Jones was able to connect on 3 of her 8 three-point attempts as well. She added 5 assists and 2 steals. The all-around player is once again an all-star in the WNBA. The all-star game is set to be played at the Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Another big night for Bahamian NBA draft prospect Kai Jones tonight, as he's said to be a part of a group of 6 prospects represented by Clutch Sports, who will partake in a pro day that is set to air live on ESPN2. The group includes Jones and other top prospects, Brandon Boston, Jalen Johnson, Jericho Sims, Scotty Lewis, and Moses Moody. James recently worked out for his first NBA team, that being the Indiana Pacers. Now Jones projects as a sure lottery pick in this year's draft, coming off a sophomore season where he took home the Big 12 Sixth Man of the Year. According to a Pacer scout, Jones is a very interesting prospect with a very high upside. He has all the physical tools and shooting potential we want in drafting a modern big in the NBA. They added that it may be a year or two before he really makes an impact with the team he's drafted by, but Jones's potential could land him as being one of the best bigs to come out of this draft. Again, the NBA draft is set for Thursday, July 29th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Bahamian NFL wide receiver Mike Strawn has made a strong impression in spring workouts and stood out among a deep receiving core for the Indianapolis Colts. This according to ESPN Indianapolis 107.5 The Fan. Now, according to head coach Frank Reich, Strawn has the size and speed as well as good short area quickness. He's also shown a great competitive disposition as an athlete. The Colts selected Strawn in the 7th round of the 2021 NFL Draft. The 6'5", 244-pounder found success as a 2-year starter at Charleston. But according to the article, it says he'll need to become at least a bit more refined to carve out a role in Indianapolis. It's a long shot to find a steady role in offense, but it looks like he will make the roster as a reserve receiver and special teams player. And that's my look at sports. A quick check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Activate your power with the new Scotia Card MasterCard Debit. Experience the power of convenience with speedy payments made with a simple tap. Feel the power of safety with enhanced security from our chip and pin technology, which grants you extra protection at the ATM, online, and at point of sale protection. Your access is granted. Make purchases here or when you choose to travel with priceless MasterCard offers. Activate your power with the new Scotiabank MasterCard Debit Card.
When you really need to save big, you need to shop Super Value in quality supermarkets. Rainbow Spaghetti and Meatballs 14.8-ounce can, 3 for $3.19. Promo's Peanut Butter 18-ounce jar, $2.89. Amalanda Fresh Milk 33.8-ounce size, $1.39. Green Peppers, $1.49 per pound. Chicken Leg Quarters 10-pound bag, $1.09 per pound. Working hard every day to keep your prices down. That's Super Value in quality supermarkets.
An intense investigation underway into that plane crash in Abaco last week. Keisha Adderley has this update.
The investigation into the crash that killed 2 pilots in a fiery impact in Treasure Key, Abaco last week has been turned over to police, releasing ultimate control of the probe from the Aircraft Accident Investigation Authority, which usually has oversight of such incidents. Chief Investigator Captain Delvin Major on the shift.
We had relinquished the control of the investigation to the police because we were notified that the aircraft was stolen. So right now we're only in a support role if they need some technical assistance from us relative to the aircraft. That's the only role we're playing right now as it relates to the crash. We do not investigate when, from our regulation, what's called an act of unlawful interference. That is automatically turned over to the aviation authorities or the police for their investigation. We investigate for safety purposes only.
But the authority still has a role to play in the investigation, which has preliminarily revealed that the pilots left Treasure Key, their plane crashing into bushes and bursting into flames just minutes later on July 7th. The authority has up to a year by law to investigate the crash.
Everything, the safety, the security, the runway, the services that's provided, all that becomes part of every investigation we do. We always look at the condition of the runway, the condition of the airfield, was there services provided by air traffic control, was the weather a factor. All of these goes into every investigation we do.
As for the human toll, that aspect of the investigation is taking its course as the families await closure.
The remains were turned over to the police in Abaco. I was told that they should have been bringing those remains to Nassau, where they will, I guess, attempt to get DNA from the family members to positively identify the remains before they return to the family for burial.
Keisha Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, 3 occupants of a disabled vessel rescued by the Defense Force after experiencing mechanical problems about 12 nautical miles northeast of the Planta Keys in the southern Bahamas. Defense Force officers aboard the HMBS Raleigh Gray getting the distress call Monday morning. They discovered a wide 44-foot catamaran with a broken mast adrift in the waters. The boarding team immediately cut the riggings and lanyard off the vessel and also assisted with additional fuel. The vessel and its occupants were eventually escorted into Landrell Point, Crooked Island, shortly after 5 this morning. Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makeshla. Outside of our studios just now, we are under cloudy skies, temperature at 82 degrees. The relative humidity on the rich side at 78%. East-northeast winds at 5 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,022.1 millibars. That's 30.18 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 79 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Green Turkey under some heavy cloud cover. Marsh Harbor at 84 degrees. The Berry Islands, 85, 82 in Allenstown, Bimini. Harbor Island, 85 degrees. Also Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 85, 85. Extends into Black Point, Exuma, Camp Space at Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, also at 85. Georgetown, Exuma, 84. 85s again in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay and Acklands, Matthewtown, Inagua, 86 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 84 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center in the Northwestern Islands tonight through tomorrow. The winds are going to be easterly, speeds 12 to 18 knots, the wave height 3 to 6 feet. High tide will take place at 11:13 tonight. You can expect another high tide at 11:40 tomorrow morning. In the central and southeastern Bahamas through Wednesday, southeasterly winds at 15 to 20 knots, and the wave height 4 to 7 feet. As we take you into Thursday, in the Northwestern Islands, the winds remain easterly, 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. Low tide will take place at 6:25 in the morning on Thursday. High tide will occur at 12:31 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands on Thursday, southeasterly winds 15 to 20, wave heights 4 to 7 feet, and caution flags remain in place. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. To do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Elevate your experience with BTC Superfast Fiber Home Internet, which unlocks unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming for as low as $50 per line. Enjoy more savings and value with internet speeds of up to 600 megabits per second and all the connectivity you need on the go. An elevated experience starts with BTC at home, powering unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming plus great savings. Visit a BTC store or btcbahamas.com for more details.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
Car insurance, home insurance, marine insurance, this insurance, that insurance. The truth is, you may not like it very much, but you need insurance, and it has to work for you. That's why Summit insurance policies are designed with you and your life in mind, fitting your lifestyle and needs perfectly. So you can rest comfortably knowing that your car, home, boat, and business are well taken care of. Contact our agents at Insurance Management today. Summit Insurance. We peak above all others.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, that upper level low across the northwest Bahamas continue to spin and move towards the west and will support some more showers tonight over much of the northwest Bahamas. And our forecast for tonight calls for partly cloudy conditions with a shower or two in place. Low temperature tonight should be around 79 degrees. And tomorrow, we're looking at a much better day as that system gradually moves out of the area. A bit breezy, though, with partial sunshine. High temperature around 90 degrees with your heat index about 102 degrees tomorrow. And we will see a lot more sunshine over the next couple of days with a few more showers working their way back into the forecast on Thursday. Temperatures once again in the low 90s for the most part, upper 80s, upper 70s during the nighttime. So you are reminded to keep yourself hydrated during the daytime. Makisha.
Well, good advice there, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team here, thanks for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.